Hey, welcome back to OPP episode 2. You guys asked for it, so here we go. Um, well, good
Yeah.
morning.
Ooh,
It's a little rainy morning. It's
Yep.
nice. Got a lot to talk about. Lots happening. We want to talk about some things going on at the state house, some things going on here in Oconee County, some things that nationally if we want. I think that Kathy and I could probably talk about those national things without getting kind of crazy. And if we get crazy, we'll turn it off. So let's get started. So what's first on the list? What's on your mind?
Well, let's see. We had a list.
Yeah.
Let me
Thank
pull
you
it up.
guys for giving us ideas and
Yeah,
topics to
feedback's
talk about.
always good.
And thanks for the comments. Sooner or later, we'll be able to do this live and we'll maybe get a producer and they could tell us what you're saying as we're talking. But right now, we're just going to do these videos for a minute.
Uncontrolled housing developments.
Oh, wow. Uncontrolled housing developments. I was at physical therapy this morning, and that was one of the topics of conversation was growth and how the student housing is encroaching up 130 there by Food Line and Publix.
Yeah.
And there's folks that are getting worried that they're going to have neighbors, and they should be worried because growth is coming.
Yeah.
And are we ready? Is our infrastructure ready? Are the locals mentally ready for all those Yankees to show up?
I don't know if it's Yankees, but I can tell you that in the time that we've been driving to therapy, it has gone, and depending on the time of day, you're looking at from what used to be a 25-minute trip has turned into sometimes a 45-minute to a 50-minute trip because of the traffic. So there's a lot more people on the road. There's a ton of construction. I mean, I don't know how we're going to accommodate folks. I don't know how we're going to accommodate them as far as schools. I don't know how we're going to accommodate them as far as healthcare. I don't know how we're going to attract doctors and healthcare workers.
Well, to talk about the traffic, you can hear that we're close to traffic.
Yeah.
And it's constant in our video. It's not gonna stop. It's not gonna be a lull. There's not a parade. This is normal. But I grew up in rural Appalachia. We didn't have a stop sign, but one or two in the whole town. No stoplights at all.
Mm-mm.
And it was 35-40 minutes to the local grocery store. I joined the Navy. I went all over the place, saw all kind of stuff. The last place I lived, San Antonio, if you didn't catch the traffic right, you could be 40 minutes going 8 miles because everybody wanted to get on the 410 and join the book club and just sit there and read books all day. But if you got ahead of the traffic, it was a 6-minute drive, 8-minute drive. So are the people in Oconee County ready for 40-minute traffic jams just to go to the Target?
I don't know. And see, but on the flip side of that, I started out in Rock Hill and in the Charlotte area, but when I'd go visit my aunt and uncle, sometimes I go spend the weekend with them. You drove with one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas. It was bumper to bumper. And then we moved to Walhalla, where if someone came up the road, you knew who it was. It was strange to see a car coming that you didn't know who they were. You
Right.
wondered, who's that? Why are they here? That they must be lost. That's exactly what you would think. You would think if you saw a car you didn't recognize, they're lost. That's
Well, and it's a huge change.
yeah.
Mountain Rest is going through a big change right now as well. I mean, there's all kind of development going on up 107, and it's going to be nice big houses come, but nice big houses change the property values and change the property assessments, and it's going to create higher taxes for everybody else. Now, I don't know if Oconee County is ready for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're taking money from the school system to pay for roads because you know what, Tomasi Salem Elementary School is not as important to the county council as maybe we once thought it might have been. So let's just take money from the budget so that the school system can close the first easiest school close. And well, now that community has lost that heritage, but hey, we're going to get nice roads in Mountain Res. Thank you, Matt, for that.
But how's that going to pan out? Because as people continue to move here, we're going to need more schools. I mean, because people have children.
But Kathy, they have already told us, damn it, that the school population has not fluctuated any at all since the 70s. We always have 10,000 students. 10,000 students need 10,000 pieces of chalk.
$5,000 then.
The 5,000 because we're going to pay people to make babies.
Yeah.
I'm offended that's going to happen. I've got a vasectomy. I can't make any more babies. I can't partake in more of this government money give out. But the people that are going to have babies for $5,000 bonuses don't understand how much it costs to raise a baby, and those are probably not the babies we want because they're not. Those parents aren't going to be prepared. We got to think about that.
$5,000 is might get you diapers for the first year.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if y'all bought diapers lately, but that might get you diapers for the first year. Your diapers and your wipes.
But the thing about it is, they built a new neighborhood, beautiful neighborhood, and we don't think about, oh, well, these people that are going to buy these nice houses are going to have children. Well, then, oh my goodness, we need a school that services that area. Well, it takes a minute for that money, tax money, to be generated from that housing development to get to Columbia to get back up here. Well, we've needed that school for 5 years while we're waiting on that money. Now, where's that money going to come from to build that school? Oh, well, we're going to have to artificially inflate everybody else's taxes to take care of that neighborhood while that's happening. Well, now we're behind and getting taxed more because we're not keeping up with the progress. I just really think that it's going to be a crisis in the next 15 years in Oconee County because instead of trying to get ahead of it and have those things, we're playing clamshell games with our money. Oh, well, we got these funds for fire trucks. We got this fund for that. Oh, well, this fire truck money over here, we don't really need a fire truck right now, so let's spend it over here. But then all of a sudden, we need a fire truck because somebody wrecked one, and we don't have money anymore. Well, it's the same thing with the school system. If you take that money from the schools, yeah, they got a little bit of savings, and you put it over here, well, then what? When they have an emergency, what happens if you have another black mold incident show up and you've got to pay for that? Then you don't have that cushion.
Yeah, I think the schools should be priority. I mean,
our schools and our hospitals and then our roads.
Yeah, and the irony in it is the administration that we have always seems to say wants over needs, or that the prior administration was placing wants over needs. You know, we hear that when they criticize municipalities, but
we wanted a sewer to the south of the county. We didn't need that.
Yeah, and we haven't seen anything materialize over there yet.
Right. Where are all the first readings of the spoken wheel and the tortoise or whatever they want to code name, whatever, of all these companies that want to move here? I mean, where is it at?
Haven't
it's
seen it.
The last economic development paperwork I read, you know, it's like 2024, they had 99 hits, but one business actually come. So that's not a very, you know, if I had 6 dozen eggs in the incubator and I got one chicken out of that deal, it wasn't worth running the incubator.
No.
So where is that ROI? Where's it at?
Haven't seen it.
Or will we see it?
No.
Or will this be another one of those like Santee Cooper electric things where we're going to spend billions of dollars and get nothing out of it? South Carolina's known for that.
Yeah.
I mean, Blue Ridge Railroad, take a look at that. Well, yeah, we're going to do it, and we did.
Yeah.
So, a lot of history. I was listening to some things the other day. It was a coffee time, and it was, I guess, the two political parties were able to talk on the radio without scrutiny by the OCC.
Which is interesting. Which is interesting.
They wanted to lynch Jim Mann for even having the idea that on the local level we needed to discuss positive ways forward for the community. But now they seem that that's what they want to do, and which is just is good. But then you hear about what was said, and want to have red shirt events, like where they're going to wear red shirts and go out into the public. I mean, has anybody read damn history?
That sounds like a
book?
red flag.
No,
Red shirt.
but in North Carolina and South Carolina in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they had this same red shirt movement, and it created a national disaster.
Right.
For most of humanity. So think about what you're doing. I mean, it's
just
great.
Maybe read something before you decide on it.
And you know what? Everybody doesn't need to wear a badge or a star or anything.
Or a label. Not everything needs
Well,
and here's the thing. If you're going to go out and you're going to do stuff, and this goes for political parties, clubs, civic organizations, churches. If you want to get out and you want to do good, you don't have to advertise it. You don't.
Just do good.
Just do good.
Yeah.
You do not need an attaboy. You do not need a ticker tape parade.
It's like I was reading something.
I mean,
somebody sent me.
that's not just good policy. That's if you say you're a Christian, that's biblical. The right hand doesn't let the left know what it's doing. I mean, you don't have to advertise.
Well,
if
I get it that they're probably excited, and it's the first time they've been on a good team together or whatever. But
and they're trying to rebrand or whatever.
Oh yeah,
but
let's be
you
nice.
don't have to announce. I mean, just
be nice.
Just be nice. Get out there and
wouldn't it be
man.
really cool to go, hey, that guy really changed? Well,
yeah.
We don't have to advertise. Watch, he's changing. Watch, he's changing.
I mean,
let's
just get
see
out
that
and
he
do
changed.
it, man.
Yeah.
Just get out and do it.
One of the things, there was an announcement that the Republican Party was going to send a contingent to the Oconee Veterans Council and negotiate whatever and being at veterans events. The only problem I have with that is, what about the other veterans that aren't Republicans? That, if you're there and
you don't have to be.
but you're coming to the OCVC looking for help because that's what they're for. And there's a lot of veterans in crisis in the Oconee County, and we spend a whole lot of money on everything but helping them. So the OCVC's there to do that. But then they start wanting to have events, and then you start having political parties that are.
No, that needs to be nonpartisan.
Or set up, you got a blue table and you got a red table and you got a purple table, and they're all like, you've got to be this way, your morality, your books, where's your Bible? Why do you bring your Bible? Like, people don't necessarily need that crammed down their throat constantly. Like, that's why the Oktoberfest committee said, hey, we're not having y'all here no more.
Yeah.
That you don't need them at the Apple Festival. People don't need that. You want to have a Republican event, have one. You want to have a Democrat event? Have one. You want a Forward Party have an event? Have one. But don't be at these things.
Green Party? Yeah.
Don't be at these things that are designed to encourage veterans to come out and seek help.
Well, those are the folks that gave you the right to have your opinion.
Right. But it's yours, and it doesn't have to be thrown at them.
Right.
And you don't need to be there asking for donations or selling T-shirts or whatever.
And truth is, they know where to find you. Don't you think? They know where to find you.
I mean, they don't necessarily have a Republican headquarters like the Democrats have a building where you can go and speak to somebody. The Republicans don't have that. Maybe they should get.
They got a Facebook page. I'm sure they've got a website. They're easy enough to find. If you want to find them, you can find them.
But just leave veterans events alone. Leave the Oktoberfest alone. Stay out of that. Let people enjoy their life. I mean, it's going to be hard enough going forward. We don't know what kind of recession that we're fixing to go into. But it'll be easier.
Definitely one coming though.
It'd be nice to not have to deal with that kind of stuff at certain venues.
Well, don't you think, when we're talking about community unity, because that seemed to be the topic of discussion, and it seems to be that there is an olive branch being off, okay? Which, okay, yeah. All right then. If you want to talk about that, let's talk about just, all the municipalities are nonpartisan. Let's talk about the county being nonpartisan. What good does it do for the county to be partisan? Because as far as I can tell, all it has done is stir up hate and discontent.
Mm-hmm.
All it's done is hurt people. All it has done is further hate, discontent, and divide. It has served zero good purpose, in my opinion. That's been my observation. I've been watching for years now.
Well, there's been a push to make the school board partisan. Why?
Nope. See, because all sorts of people go to school, and by law, you are required to send your child to school or homeschool, which still, interestingly enough, the government is going to monitor your homeschool, which is a whole other episode we could do. But you are required to educate your child in some manner. So, with that being said, that school and everything about that school needs to be nonpartisan. It needs to be non-religious. It needs to be nonpartisan. It needs to be clear as water. You don't need any politics, and you don't need any religion there.
Absolutely. I think that a school fails if a teacher, if a student can look at a teacher and go, he's a Republican and a Christian, or that's a Democrat and must. If a student can look at a teacher and know their religious or political affiliations, the school has lost. It is lost. They're there for reading, writing, and arithmetic. They're there for social skills, but they're not there to get any type of propaganda pushed on them whatsoever from anyone, whether it's LGBT or the church. None of that should exist in the school system.
I mean, they're there to allow a child to develop into who the child's supposed to be. I mean, and allow that child to be who they are. They're there to allow that child to talk about themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, I don't think that a teacher needs to stifle who they are.
And every child should feel welcome.
Yeah. And every child should feel welcome. And I don't think a teacher should have to stifle who they are. If a teacher, if a woman has a wife, I don't think that they should have to hide that or anything, because they likely have a student somewhere, or will have a student somewhere along the way, and that's representation. I don't think if a child directly asks, they should have to lie. But I don't think that they should ever be like pushing one thing as better than the other, or